It was wine. Yeah. My doctor, though, super sweet. Kamali was like, no, honey, that's not what causes babies. I'm like, no, it does.
Yeah.
I drink a bottle and 9 months later, there's a baby. So we got that fixed. There's only going to be 5 babies in our house unless there's like some grace of God that he gives us another one and then we're going to have a problem. Okay, so there's 5 babies. I have been married 17 years to my best friend. He is my better half. We complement each other very well. If you meet me, I am outspoken, I talk, and I don't mind sharing. My husband is not no, he always has that face. I don't want to say the word, but it's like always resting. And he's like, that's my husband. But he always pays attention. Like my husband, if I tell him a story, he will tell me word for word. He just had no emotional connection to what I said. So we're direct opposites, but it has worked for us. He has been in the service for 19 years. He is only doing 5 more. I said, you get 5 more and we are out. I'm going to move back home, which is in Idaho, and he can come or he can stay in the Navy longer, but I'm not doing that anymore. So it was fun. So 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, our world was rocked. We had 4 amazing kids. I was a great parent. I was amazing. I'm a little bit of an overachiever, so I'm the PTA president. Why would you do that? Don't do it. The movies are real. I was the PTA president. I was on the board of directors for cheer and football. Mind you, not a normal person would do that stuff. Only the person who has too many kids would volunteer for something like that to get a discount. Bad idea. Okay, so I am a runner. I've been a runner my whole life. I love to run. At 24 weeks, with my 5th baby, I go on a run. I run my quickest mile pregnant, 9 minutes and 32 seconds. I have done it with all of my babies because it's the way that I get my stress out. The very next day, I am at my kids' school and I'm helping. PTA president has to be at the school all the time. I don't have a life. I belong to that school and they don't pay me. I start getting really bad pains. I've had 4 babies. This is not labor. This is somebody is dying. So instead of telling other parents, hey, I need help, I think I need to go home, I do the next best thing. We're gonna squat through it. Hey guys, yay! And look, these kids are high-fiving. Miss Savee, you're the best. And look, she's doing squats. The whole time I am dying. Like I'm literally dying. Something is wrong. I go home. I get my husband, who's been gone for 5 weeks. He's going to spend 2 weeks with us and go on a 7-month deployment. And yes, this is our first baby that was not planned. Maybe we had 2 bottles of wine that night. And I'm going to have a baby without my husband. We have only lived in San Diego a year. I barely know anybody other than the connections that I made with myself when I moved here. Because my business has always somehow made my moves 10 times easier. I pick up my business from Idaho and I moved to Virginia and I said, okay, I need friends. And they need to buy from me. So we're gonna do really nice, okay? So we moved from Virginia to California, I did the same thing. I said, I need friends. So I cook cookies every time we move and I meet every single last neighbor that's within walking distance of my house. Do it every single time I move. So I'm not afraid to go out and meet people. So picture this. I finally admit that I am in way too much pain. And this overachiever has to call in her card and call her husband, who takes the kids out to dinner, and I tell him, we are dying today, and we're not having a baby. No, something is wrong. I go to the hospital, and I am the cool overachiever who decided to get not 1, not 3, not 5, but 7 kidney stones. Oh, holy crud. Right? Anybody had kidney stones before? Yeah. Anybody do it pregnant? You are a brave soul, right? There's like, God made special people to get those kinds of things. Okay. So I am 24 weeks pregnant and no, put me in the hospital. I'm thinking, it's all right. My husband's gonna be here for 2 weeks. We are gonna rock star past this kidney stone. We are gonna get out of here because I am a planner and everything is gonna be okay. Yeah. Nope, that did not happen. My kidney stones decided to stay for the entire pregnancy. Right? Yeah. It was so cool. My husband was like, whoa, that's too much for me. I'm gonna go on deployment. So he goes to Guam in Afghanistan and he's enjoying his job, his life, and I am dying. And guess what? I'm on bed rest with 4 kids under 10. How do you do that? I do it because I had Sensi. I did it because in my business, my goal has always been to build something around me. So now I am trusting neighbors I've met a handful of times. I haven't eaten their cooking, so who knows what they're slipping into that food, giving it to my kids. I have no idea. There are people staying in my house. I have people cleaning my house. I have people coming in and cooking. I have people taking kids to cheer, to football, to ballet. I have this community, and I keep thinking, oh my God, I can't do this, right? I'm not good enough. I am not worthy. These people shouldn't be helping me. I don't deserve this. This is me. And you notice all of that? How many times do we say that? I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this. She's better than me. My sponsor is a rock star. That superstar director, it's easy for her. How many times do we say that to ourselves? And the key word in all of this is I. I can't, I won't, I don't know how, I can't. Okay, so I get sisters to fly out. Kind of lucky, I got a lot of them. Some I like, some I don't like. But they came out, they were pretty cool, they helped me. Second thing that happened in this pregnancy that changed really my world is I figured out how we are going to do it. I'm going to get through the pregnancy, have this baby, they will remove these stones and we'll never get them again. And I'm never, by the way, ever running another day in my life because I'm sure I was dehydrated and I caused these kidney stones. This is what I am telling myself all this time. 34 weeks pregnant, we put an epidural in because that's gonna help because I have taken narcotics, which I would never do with any of my other pregnancies. They are continuously pumping me with narcotics because every time they take me off, guess who goes into labor? Yeah. So I can't have a NICU baby and 4 other babies at home because there's just me and a husband who is gone. So we ended up having to have surgery at 34 weeks to remove the stones they could reach. This is the key word, reach. But they gave me 2 options. How brave are you? That's what they asked me. So, I'm brave. Look, I'm sitting in here. I've got people I don't even know watching my kids. I think I'm pretty brave, okay? I'm brave, I can do this. They wanted me to stay awake so they wouldn't have to put me completely under so that this really sweet baby wasn't exposed even more than she has already been exposed to. So I know this, I know it's on me. Like I gotta be strong enough to do this for her. I get in, it's cold. I am 7.5 months pregnant. I am huge because I've been on bed rest. I haven't moved in months. I really gained some weight. It was pretty awesome. Guess what happens? I have my first ever panic attack. I am laying on this, I am ready, I can do this, and all of a sudden I have to pee. That's all I say. I have to pee. Like I have to pee. They're like, man, we're gonna give you medicine. No, I have to pee. Next thing you know, I'm like out. I did not stay awake. I was not brave enough for that. Which is probably good, because when I woke up, it was very painful, and they put a stent in, and I thought that was gonna make life better, and it didn't. So I share this because there were a few things that happened in her pregnancy. I could have literally said, no, this is too much. I could have walked away from my business. Believe me, I thought about it, because I could have walked away. I could have feared up and maybe took a little more narcotics to make it a little bit more comfortable, but I didn't want to do that to her. So I'm trying to do all of these things for everybody. And it was scary. Okay, so I make it out of that pregnancy. I am a rock star. I do this. Me and her are doing great. When she's 3 weeks old, those kidney stones decided to come out. Yep. So at 3 weeks old, all my family who was really cool and came and stayed with me, they have lives, and it's not my family. And so I call a friend that I kind of know a little bit better than the rest that have helped me. Hey, do you want a baby? She's 3 weeks old. I don't know if she takes bottles because I've never given her one. And she took my baby and my 4 other kids, and I had 3 more kidney surgeries because the surgeon messed up, and I got a secondary blood infection, and I stayed in that hospital by myself because my husband wasn't there, and all my people were with my little people, okay? Right there, I should have left. I should have said, I cannot do this. Still, I said, I can do this. I'm a warrior. We still have 4 more months left in this deployment. He can't give me much more. I took it. Okay, so we made it through the deployment, and I have this amazing family, and I love my babies to a million pieces. But what happens next? I thought that kidney stone stuff was pretty crappy. I start watching my sweet little baby, and I start realizing that she isn't where she should be. If I was a first-time mom, I would have thought I got a broken baby. For a while I said, she has colic. For a while I said, she has reflux. She doesn't like food. My baby doesn't like to be touched. My baby doesn't like to be cuddled. My baby is broken. And that's what I said to the pediatrician. And I'm lucky that he was amazing. And he said, you know what? We're gonna do this. And I geared up that day. I had a choice. I could keep sitting in denial that something was wrong with my 12-month-old baby. But I had 4 other kids who babbled. This kiddo didn't babble. She screamed. And have any of you had babies scream at you? Have you ever had them scream at you? Yeah. So this is mine. I can't leave her with anybody. Why? Because I want to shake her. So I can only imagine what they want to do to her. So I am trapped. I am trapped because she is amazing and I love her, but I don't get her. When she was 14 months old, and this is where I tear up, I sat in front of the table with the social worker, and she said, I am so sorry. We're gonna do this, okay? But your daughter has something called sensory processing disorder. I said, okay, I can do this. Your daughter is at high risk for autism. And I thought, oh my God, like what are we gonna do? Like this is me. You know, because mind you, my husband isn't at this meeting because he's gone. Okay, and I sat there and I'm trying not to cry. I don't care about the autism. Didn't care that it was sensory. Those were answers. I felt almost relieved in that exact moment in time because it was validating that what I was seeing was real. What she was going through was real, and it wasn't in my head because people were telling me she's normal, she's fine, there's nothing wrong with her, she cries a lot, she's the littlest of 5, right? Just like in your business, you're a direct selling person, you're annoying, nobody wants to buy from you, like all these things. That's what they were doing to me. But what changed is I don't know how to do her, and I did this. So my brain right now is saying, I did this to her, because the 3rd line on there, the hardest one to like say out loud, is she's at risk for autism because she was exposed to a high amount of narcotics in her pregnancy. Let that sink in for a second. I've never done drugs in my entire life. Okay, never smoked pot, never done drugs, and here I am. I caused some of this. I could be the reason why she neurologically is the way she is. Do I feel that way now? No. I am in a total different place with her now. Did I cause this? No. This was her. This was our gift because somebody up above knew that this is something my family could handle. In that moment, did I think I could handle it? No. Okay. She left and I said, oh my God. All right, 4 kids, PTA president, board of directors, everybody has me. I have a team of over 100 right now. These people depend on me. I depend on me. What am I gonna do? And in that moment, I could have shut down. I literally could have said no, okay? But in that moment, I said, I can still do this. Like, I'm gonna do this. If you follow me on social media and you've watched Carolyn's journey, it is pretty dang amazing. Early intervention it's hands down one of the coolest things ever. So at 12 months, she didn't look at anybody. She did not make eye contact. She did not eat. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay. I used to consider myself a mean mom. Moms, dads in here? You know what I'm talking about, right? I am going to cook dinner, okay? And Bryson, you're going to eat it. And if you don't like it, I am not a short order cook. So you're gonna starve. And tomorrow when I offer you breakfast, I bet you're hungry and you're gonna eat it. So I have been like the best mom, right? These kids have like starved half their lives, but they were fine the next morning, right? They ate what was in front of them. I was never going to be a short order cook. I was never going to take any of my kids out into a restaurant and let them scream. Because you don't do that. My mom would have beat my honey. You do not scream in a restaurant, you sit your butt down, okay? Then we get Carolyn. Guess what? She doesn't scream to scream so that I will give in to her. She is like the hardest job in the entire world. I thought sensing and moving and rebuilding my business over and over, I thought that was hard. No, she is. So picture this. She is about 15 months old and we don't eat. Nope. The pediatrician has said, we're gonna keep her on formula a little bit longer. We gotta get her to eat food. I'm like, she don't eat. So I did an experiment with little stinker. I only offered her oatmeal, the one food I knew she would eat, and I'm like, that's hearty. She will make it, and eventually she's gonna want a snack, right? No, not this kid. She made it 3 days eating oatmeal just in the morning. Okay, so when people tell me your daughter is a picky eater, no, a picky eater eats more than 20 foods. How do I know that? I geared up and I gained knowledge, just like when you are faced with something in your business and you don't know how to do it, you get the knowledge so that you're better. Did you know that a picky eater literally cannot visually see something? Some of those kiddos can't touch it. Some of them can't put it in their mouths. Could you imagine? So how many times in your business have you tried something, it didn't work, and you said, I'm done? Because I know. They told me in OT and in her food therapy, listen, she's gonna eat. She's gonna eat more than the 7 foods, but you're not gonna like how we're gonna do it. I said, what do you mean? You know, the first day we played with our food, she never once put any of that in her mouth. I'm thinking, oh, how is this gonna help? When they said, we're gonna get her to eat strawberries, people are crazy. You go ahead and give that kid a strawberry, she's gonna chuck it clear across the room if you're lucky that she's gonna touch it, but she's probably gonna take the plate and throw it and say, because it really grossed her out. So when you hit an obstacle, do you let it stop you? Or do you say, I'm gonna do this? We started out with strawberry Jolly Ranchers. What? I'm not giving her Jolly Ranchers, y'all are out of your mind. Because then I gotta give them to the other kids I said I wasn't a short order cook to, right? So now I am a short order cook to them. And she goes, right, this is ridiculous. I'm like catering to 5 of them. She goes from a Jolly Rancher to 9 months later, she went from strawberry ice cream, okay, well, what better than the hard candy that she's gonna break her teeth with, to actually eating a strawberry. Pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. So when I saw this topic and I said, why are we making circumstances outside of our life so much bigger than what we can accomplish? Okay, think about that for a second. We can do so much more than we even realize that we are capable of doing, but we only do it if we're willing to say, how? Like, I look at Carolyn, you know, she's in food therapy, She has ABA therapists in our house 3 days a week, and now I became a clean freak that I didn't even know I was because I don't want them in my house with a dirty house. We have speech therapy. I don't think it works, but we keep doing it. Yep. So we keep doing it. My whole family, to get her to communicate with us, every last one of them has learned how to sign. So she signs outside of public, and she's pretty much a mute. But if you get her in our house, she actually will talk. She learned how to say, "Give me a cookie." So she gets a cookie. And it's pretty hard to tell her no, because we worked so hard to get her to say, "Give me." I'm like, oh my God. Cookie number 2. Oh, they said we are just shooting for calories. That is 280 calories, sister. Enjoy. So there are so many things that made me say, I don't know, maybe I can't do this. But then I said, maybe I can. Like, maybe I am worth doing this. So I want you, I really want somebody in here to tell me something that you can't do, and why do you want to overcome it? And it's hard. Like, what can you not do that is stopping you from being the best version of you? Anybody? I know somebody wants to share. Come on. It's yes, with the glasses, give it up.
I can never stick to using a calendar. Like, I'll buy one, a cute one, be excited about it, and write in it for like 2 days.
Oh, horrible.
So those things are years old.
Yeah, so now you just have to say, I am gonna use it. But you're gonna take the one pen. Don't get excited over the 10 pens and the 40 stickers, right? Because that's what we do. I do that. Like, I got that one and that one and that one. But if you break it down, I'm gonna use it with the pen, the blue pen. And if I do it for a week, I'm gonna upgrade to the purple. And then if we're gonna live life on the wild side, we will go to the green. Because I kind of like the green a little bit better. Anybody else have something that is just debilitating and making it to where you can't? Oh, all the way in the back. Yeah, Todd's coming. Drum, 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 drum.
I can't build more hours in the day.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me tell you that. It's funny, I didn't touch, it's on my notes, but I didn't get to say something about that. Here's what's really crazy, okay? I only get 24 hours in a day. I tried to reinvent the wheel. Fall back, get messed up, spring forward, that's not even cool. 24 hours, right? But what if for just a second you said, how am I using those 24 hours? See, because before, I'm not a morning person. I actually dislike mornings completely. They're not cool. My really crazy baby, because she is on the spectrum, kind of actually sleeps, which I guess is not normal. But she sleeps for 12 hours and then she wakes up and she's very quiet, so I get me time. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. And I give myself me. So I go to the gym for 1 hour. I hate every minute of it. I hate exercising, it's gross. It is, like, you're sweaty and the people next to you might have corona, like, you just don't know, right? Exercising isn't my thing. But what I realized was, Grey's Anatomy was not building my business. Nope. I love it. Well, did love it. Spoiler alert, it turned really bad, so I am out. But I realized that those things weren't helping me. So I looked at my 24 hours and I said, what are you doing, crazy lady? Get with the program. Like, you have people who need you and you have a business and you deserve this. You deserve a bucket list of getting in front of your peers. And some of you in here, I love, I follow, I watch, and I'm so thankful that I get to share my journey with you. So what I didn't share with you at the very beginning, because I think it's really important to hear it after, is I have been a director for 8 years. In 8 years, I've had 3 babies, and I made a list. So I want you to understand every excuse I had in front of me of why I couldn't be successful. I had 3 babies. I had a traumatic miscarriage that tried to defeat me. I had 4 kidney surgeries. I have done 5 deployments where my husband has left me and we're getting ready for number 6 and it better be the last one. I had 7 kidney stones and I'm a rock star. They did not come back. I am no longer a runner. We'll get to that. I have learned how to be a mom to a special needs kiddo. I was a PTA president. We won't do that again. God, no. I volunteer wherever I'm needed in the community because that's what's helped me business. But the one thing that has never changed is Sensi. I am doing a half marathon because I am a runner. That didn't define me. And the only thing that never changed is I never walked away from Sensi. I never gave up. And in 8.5 years, I have gotten paid as a director every single month.
Yeah, girl.
Every single month. So I ask you to ask yourself, how big is your excuse? Is it enough to stop you from doing some really amazing things? Because my excuses were enough to break my family up. My excuses were big enough to destroy everything that I had built up. My excuses were a lot. Instead, I took the fear, I cried, and I gave myself a gift of keeping on going. So you guys can do this, all of you, brand new consultants, old consultants, new consultants, you deserve to do you. So, thank you.